I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
If you are a 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit that has the ability to play at Alabama, LSU, South Carolina, USC, whatever, you could go to another school and make the same amount of NIL money and get the same opportunity outside of those I hate black people states. You can. And if enough of the players were able to do that, then it can make it. It would make a difference. I mean, it's the same thing with athletics as it is with sports. We are the product. We don't really need them. They need us. But we concede our power. And a lot of times you say, well, it's not right to put this on young people. Have you looked at how old Fred Hampton was when he was leading the Panthers in Chicago? He was in his early 20s doing that. A lot of our ancestors, it was SNCC, all those organizations, they were in their early 20s, teenagers.
College kids, all of them.
College kids standing up for what's right. So we got too many people who are putting their fear on these young people. And the reality is this: these dudes transfer schools all the time. They'll transfer to a new university if their position coach changes. They'll transfer to a new university if the coach changed the system and I'm not getting highlighted as much, so I'm gonna go to this system over here. You're not gonna transfer for your rights, your voting rights, because like they said, these institutions like Alabama, the coaches, all these people, they're paid by the state. Yeah. So I just have an issue with people trying to say it's not fair to ask young people to do this when at some point you got to stand for something. And then I'll let y'all talk. You saw where Trump and his administration, they're trying to input legislation to curtail all this NIL money that these athletes are given. They're trying to stop it. They're trying to put it into it. They're trying to get more control over it because at the end of the day, they want to punish black people. They don't want anything for us that'll benefit us and not them. And they'll do without to make sure that it punishes us. So you better stand up for something. And that's what I feel like these athletes should be doing.
So 2 things. 1, if I can tell you the number of times that my child asked me for permission to do things, we cannot pretend that these children, these student athletes are making these decisions on their own without influences from their parents and their community at home. These are the same people that are talking about votes don't matter, don't do that, look out for yourself. We got to understand that these people who have been raised, especially people who put a huge emphasis on athletics to get out of their current financial situation, and they're not just banking on, everybody's putting in on you in this sports program so that you can get the whole family out. It's not just about you. It's not just about your plan. So they're not even allowing these children to make these decisions based off of what they think is right or what they think they should be doing next. So I don't think it's fair to say that these children are just being able to make these decisions of their own free will. I think their families are also.
You ain't raised young people. You got teenagers and 20-something.
They still ask me for permission to do stuff all the time.
And at the end, they ask for permission when they need your support on it. But when they don't need your damn support, they do what they want to do.
Yes, if you raise them that way.
And guess what? These kids is making NIL money. A majority of them are making more money than their parents. So guess who's really calling the shots?
No, you cannot pretend that these children were raised to just say, forget whatever their parents are saying and do whatever they want. They're not raised that way.
Right. And also, Rika, you said their parents
it's not about disrespect. It's about, listen, I can do what I want to do.
Right.
I'm not in your house anymore. When I'm in your house, if I'm sleeping in your bed, under your roof, then I got this to your rules. But when I'm way at college, we had to respect our parents because there's a general level of respect. But also, hey, mom, I need some gas money. So there comes some control, a level of guidance and direction with that. But if you got a young man that's making $250,000, right? He's
Yeah.
probably paying his mama's rent, mortgage, or whatever. Shit, he
And
ain't
let me
got
tell
to
you what
listen
you're
to
not
her.
gonna do. And let me tell you what you're not gonna do.
Exactly.
Let me tell you what you're not gonna do. Tell me anything. I birthed you. You came out of me. So
It sounds
yes,
good.
you will
That
defer
sounds
to
good.
me.
That sounds good.
No, but see, so I think we're kind of viewing it inaccurately also though, talking about the parents didn't raise them this way. No, the parents raised them to be that way, to where they're selfish. If we look at, and I hate to go on the soapbox, I've talked about this many a times before. These are parents who basically said, F the rest of a lot of them, forget the rest of the black community. I gained a little financial independence and I'm leaving. And so you're asking your kid you didn't instill that in your kid, and so you're asking them to do something that you never did. So that these aren't the same kids as a Fred Hampton. These aren't the Stokely Carmichael kids. These aren't kids who grew up in that. These are kids who, by and large part, grew up under a different parents who had a different attitude. It was, what's the hood, what's the black community is bad, so we're going to leave that. We're not going to stay there, and so you're asking them to change midstream. It's kind of tough, because and even the ones that maybe say weren't financially stable, guess what? They still went to high school at a lot of non-black high schools, whether they're the Catholic, the Jesuit, the Christian, the Country Day Academies, all of that. And so they're already knee deep, waist deep in that society, in that world, and ask him to change midstream is asking a lot. Now, again, there are some people who could do it, but I wouldn't be disappointed if a child did not do that, is what I'm saying.
Indoctrinated.
I think you made a good point in the type of kid that is on this D1 level, on this level of D1. Back in the day, we had Jim Brown, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They came up, and we said this before, they came up in that generation where we all we got.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these athletes, a lot, not
just
all.
athletes. I wouldn't put it on athletes,
a lot,
but yeah,
a lot, not all, are raised to be entitled and raised with the end goal to be, hey, listen, it's time for me to cash in on all this investment, like you said, Lab, into my athletics, the private training, the weekends that you've given up for basketball tournaments, 7-on-7 tournaments, whatever. And you couple that with that this is also the TikTok generation that learns from social media and doesn't want to say, hey, oh, Republicans, Democrats, same thing, they're all bad. No, the fuck they're not.
Yeah.
And you see that now. And I have one of mine that kept saying that. I said, yeah, but they're all politicians, they're bad. So then when I finally said, hey, listen, you see how they're taking away your voting rights? You see how they're coming for you? Do you still think they're all the same and they're all bad? Do you still think that? And all they could do is sit there and look stupid. So I think the major problem is it is the parents. It is the people our age. And it's the influence that they refuse to have on their children. Now, I still maintain that if your child is making, that NIL money, that real NIL money, a lot of them, especially the basketball players, they're making, if they're smart about it, they're making money that can change not only their lives, but the generations after them if they invested wisely. A lot of them, they are making probably close to what they would make like as a first-year player in the NBA or the NFL. Just playing.
That's why they're staying there longer.
Just playing there.
Yeah.
So it is a lot. But what I'm saying though is that if we had enough of us who are unified to say, hey, listen, I don't have to go to Alabama. I could go to Michigan. I could go to Ohio State. I could go to any other school because I'm telling you, I had a kid that was recruited. You don't get most people don't just get recruited by one school.
Right.
If you make it to the point where one top school is recruiting you, there's a whole line of
Yeah.
coaches and recruiters coming to your household. Don't so let's not make it seem like, oh man, I'm just giving up my one opportunity. They got the pick of the litter.
Right.
Now, if they want to say, I want to stay close to home, I'm from Louisiana, so I want to play LSU, so my people can come and watch me play or some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, but at some point, man, at some point, at some point, we got to inconvenience ourselves to move ourselves ahead.
And but see, that goes along to the next point, though, is we're saying we got to inconvenience ourselves. What are we doing? It's not an inconvenience, honestly. It's not an inconvenience to your life if you don't watch a football game. It's not an inconvenience to your life if you don't turn that channel. I mean, that's not an inconvenience
I
to your
disagree
life.
because the NFL told y'all that y'all weren't the smartest white boys. They blackballed a black man, and it was still too hard for y'all to not watch.
Who's y'all? I never watched to begin with. Don't lump me in that group.
Again, we don't want to go on this tangent, but the same people that support the NFL support other leagues across the world. The same owners that are saying that are the same owners in other leagues and industries across the world. So
our champions are owned by the fucking Cronkies. So let's not be holier than thou today.
Hold on. When you tell me that the Premier League says that black players aren't as smart as white players, then I'll stop watching.
That's called race norming in medical. Your doctor does it too. When he goes and
how you know
he
my
performs
doctor?
Every doctor, especially with the advent of AI right now, they use that kind of stuff. Whenever you do a test, there's race norming.
So you're explaining the way that are you really trying to explain that was
no.
Right?
What I'm saying is, again, you can say if they did this, so I'm hard against it. Well, extrapolate that to every aspect of your life.
I don't have to extrapolate it to everything in my life. I don't do
exactly.
that. I don't have to do a whole. I don't have to say, okay, well, I'm boycotting Target, so I got to boycott Whole Foods and this, that, whatever. Whatever I want to boycott, that's what I want to boycott.
That's why I said whoever can do that. That's why I said whoever can boycott, it's
we
fine.
got this problem.
Everybody doesn't have to.
We got a problem.
Everybody doesn't have to.
We got a problem.
Why do you get to choose who you boycott, but the rest of us don't get to choose who we boycott?
You have to boycott.
I never said you didn't get to choose who you boycotted.
But that's the point.
That's what you're saying right now. And like I said up front, those who can boycott for sure, but it's not everything. There's not one broad stroke that covers everybody. There's a multi-pronged approach that needs to be handled to handle this situation. Some people, this boycott of schools or going to different schools will work. Other kids, it's not going to work for them. There's a finite number of scholarships because there's a finite number of institutions. So 300 kids can't go to University of Michigan. 300 kids can't go to Penn State. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I
think that the point that he's trying to.
I disagree.
How do you disagree that everybody can't go play for the same team?
Are you going to let me talk, or are you going to just talk over me?
Both.
I disagree because there are a multitude of institutions and opportunities for these young men and women to take advantage of. And no, they don't all have to go to two universities. There's plenty of opportunities for them to spread it along. And like you said, Lav, you don't need every single person to go. Yeah. You don't need every single person to go. But this mindset, and this is the problem that I think that we have as a community, there is no perfect protest. There is no perfect protest. There's no perfect anything. Nothing. And we have a real big problem of trying to say, well, this ain't gonna work because of this, or this ain't gonna work because of that, and this not fair to this not fair to this people, and this not fair to that people. You know who don't have a problem with thinking that way? Our enemy. They don't give a damn. As long as they win, do it. Go forward. Yeah, we might be inconvenienced, but hey, listen, we're still going to be where we want to be at the end of the day. And for some reason, man, I don't know, man. I think some of us just love white people too much.
Or maybe we just not white.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
I'm not white, so I don't want to win at all costs. I don't want to.
You should
sacrifice.
You losing it at all costs.
I'm not. even though,
The hell
because
you
at the
not?
end of the day, you're
You
supposed to
just
be
said that you
protecting
live in
your
a state.
school.
You just said you live in an area where you can't even really vote for who you want to vote for.
Yes.
And you not
So I need
losing?
to work
And
on
you not
that.
losing?
But that doesn't mean I need to sacrifice my children because see, the point is you said
How's
there's
that
no perfect
sacrificing a
protest.
child? How's that
Pause.
sacrificing a child?
So
Well,
you said there's no perfect protest, but in order for the protest to be effective, the top athletes need to choose to go to these schools. These second tier athletes
yeah,
can go wherever they want to go because no one
yep.
cares about them. So we're only asking the top athletes to sacrifice going to the school that they want to go to.
It's not a sacrifice.
How is it not a sacrifice?
The same money you gonna get going to LSU, you gonna get
No,
going to
no,
Michigan.
that's you can't
You
do
say
that.
no, but you say no, but why? Just because you
What do you
disagree?
mean why? If I've wanted to go to a school that I've wanted to go to for my whole life and I don't go to that school for a protest, that's a sacrifice. That's a choice
I
that I'm
wanted
making.
there was a girl
NIL money,
there was a
NIL
girl that I
money is not
wanted to date my
unlimited.
whole life, and I found out that she really treated me like shit. You think I should have still tried to date her? No, move on somewhere else.
That's not
Go
my
somewhere where
point.
you respected.
My point is, like Lab said, there's only so many people that can go to the HBCU
And
schools.
I
They're
said,
not
not
recruiting
everybody
everybody.
has to go. I
That's
addressed
the
that.
That
point.
right.
They don't,
That's what I'm
the
saying. It's not
protest is
everybody.
only going to be successful if the good people go. They don't care if your bum ass second
And
string
that's what
go.
we're asking.
Exactly. So we're asking them to make a sacrifice. We're asking them
It's
to
not a
do the
sacrifice.
work. We're
Words matter.
asking children to
Words
do the
matter.
work.
It's not a sacrifice. A
Okay.
sacrifice is saying, hey, don't play ball. Give up your dream. All of you black kids, stop playing. If all of y'all just sit down and you don't play,
That's not
then
the
we
same.
can make change. But if
That's
you're
not the
simply
same.
saying, hey, don't go there, go over here instead, there is no sacrifice. You're still playing ball. You still have an opportunity to go to the next level if you want that, right? You're still going to get NIL money. You're still going to get your education paid for. Where's the sacrifice?
Are you going to get the same NIL money
Yeah,
going to a school that's not pulling in the
sacrifice.
same type of money?
It's a bidding
Sacrifices.
war. What do you think? It used to be that these kids say, "Hey, listen, I want to go play in the system that fits me. I want to go play for a coach that I like or whatever." Now, you know how they make the decision? Hey, listen, man, I can get you this amount of money. I get you this amount of money a month. I can get you this amount of money a week. It's a bidding war. It's a business.
The sacrifice is a there's no cute little box that sacrifice this meets qualifications of sacrifice, this doesn't. So to say someone isn't making a sacrifice is very short-sighted and it's unintelligent. I mean, it doesn't make sense because what's a sacrifice to you might not be a sacrifice to me. What's a sacrifice to me might not be a sacrifice to Erika.
What's the
So
definition of sacrifice?
say
Not
that
doing what I
again.
want to do.
I don't know what the definition is, but if you go, I mean, and if you ever were in, say, some kind of church organization and like take an offering, right? Give what you can, a sacrifice, or something like that, a offering, and somebody's offering is going to be less than somebody else's. So somebody sacrificed more or somebody sacrificed less. What does that mean? Because they gave more. Did they sacrifice more or did they sacrifice less? It's the same. It's a sacrifice, regardless of how you feel about it. It's my sacrifice. I can tell you what's a sacrifice for me.
And what's the
And to
way
some
to
of these kids to say it's a sacrifice to go from Louisiana to Michigan or Minnesota or whatever, it's a sacrifice. I can't question them on that.